That boat looks like it has two reefs in the main, and he's sailing downwind, kind of excessive in this wind. That other boat, on the other hand, is sailing upwind and has no reefs. So it's the reverse of what it should be. Yeah, this guy has some extreme lean. He's like 45 degrees, so maybe he's exaggerating a little bit. Of course, it depends on the boat. Older models with round hulls tend to heel more, but still 45 degrees is a little bit much for the boat performance, if you ask me. He should probably take a reef, and that would make for a more pleasant sail, and maybe just as fast, if not even faster. My opinion, of course. I haven't sailed his boat, but from my experience, this is what happened. Another boat with two reefs in the main and a heavily furled Genoa. I don't know why he does that, because look at the boat's motion. Boat doesn't have enough power to surf over the waves nicely. It's really not that bad a wind to have two reefs. A few thoughts about when to reef. I see the wind now increasing. It was 14 knots, then 15. Now it's up to 18, gusting even to 19. The sea is a little agitated. I can see plenty of white caps over there. But on the other hand, the boat goes very well. We are fast and stable. So I don't have a very good reason to reef yet. As a general rule, around 18 knots I take the first reef in the main, especially when going upwind, because when you go upwind it's good to reef earlier, and when you go downwind you can reef a little later. There's also the geography. We are in between two islands, that one, and that creates a corridor for the wind, so the wind accelerates a little bit in this passage between the two islands. Also, generally the wind tends to increase when going offshore, so we'll have to see. I'm gonna wait a little bit more, see what happens with the wind, and then decide if I just jibe like that, or if I reef first and jibe afterwards. In the forecast they say on the second part of the day the wind will get a little bit weaker, so it's always a balance between efficiency, speed, and also comfort, and not taking risks with your rig and sails and your boat. Yeah, the general tendency in the last hour is for a slight increase in the wind. There's also a gut feeling that you have to have, and I guess this comes from repeated experience in sailing. Sometimes you feel you need to take a reef. Right now I don't get that feeling, so that's why I'm going on like this. But sometimes you have a feeling that you need to be reducing your sail, and so that plays a big part in the decision. So to recap, when should we reef? Well, the simple answer is whenever the boat is overpowered. And how do we know it's overpowered? It leans a lot, and that makes sailing uncomfortable and less efficient. And also you get a lot of weather helm. That is, when the ship is leaning too much, it tends to round up into the wind. And in order to fight that and keep the direction of sail, you have to turn your rudder to leeward, so that it tries to keep the boat on course and prevent it from going upwind. And so whenever the rudder is turned too much, that adds a lot of drag and reduces speed, and you end up fighting with your rudder, and that's a clear sign that you need to reef. Generally, it's good to follow the advice of reefing early rather than late. A particular danger is when you are going downwind, because there the apparent wind that you feel is less strong than the true wind, and you might be thinking you're doing okay, but in reality the wind is too strong, and then you are in risk of broaching. That means the boat turns violently into the wind, and you risk doing damage to your boat, or even being thrown overboard and stuff like that. You can see a nice example of broaching and what can happen in the recent ocean race around Europe. I made a video about it. You can find it in this channel, and that's exactly what happened to that racing team. They had too much sails up, they were hit by a strong gust of wind, and the boat lost control and broached, and another boat ran into them. So that's what can happen. Generally, reefing doesn't mean only getting rid of some mainsail surface, but you can also furl the foresail a little bit, or even better, you can switch to another smaller foresail, maybe even on an inner stay, like in the cutter rig. That's even better, because it keeps the center of effort down and towards the middle of the ship, and that makes the ship more stable in difficult conditions. Also, it's not good to reef too early, because if you reef too early you lose power, and particularly if the sea is choppy, if there are waves, you end up having this bobbing motion that drastically reduces the efficiency of your sails. So you want to keep the boat under pressure as constantly as you can, in order to have a smooth sailing, and in order to have enough power to go through the waves. So these are my thoughts about reefing. Of course, the actual wind speed and way in which you should reef depends on each boat. So I can't give you a recipe. You just have to go out and experiment with your boat and find the right time and the right way to reduce sail. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments. See you all later.